Today on Shop Nation, I recommend 3 awesome channels that you need to be watching. I'll go over some channel and business updates, as well as looking for some insights from you as to which direction I should probably go. And what was the third one? Oh, am I quitting YouTube? What's up, you guys? I am Travis, this is Shop Nation, and I thought today we'd have a little bit of shop talk. And as I mentioned in the intro, I want to go over some updates to the channel, including the opportunity for you to give me some feedback on which direction I should go. Then we will move directly into the channel recommendations. I've got 3 really good ones teed up that you don't want to miss. And then right after that, I want to talk about kind of a fundraiser that I became a part of that I think is going to be really cool. And then last but not least, why am I talking about quitting YouTube? So for the channel update, I thought I would just bring you guys up to speed on a couple things that are new. And then lastly, just some suggestions from you, hopefully, on what you enjoy and what you want to see going forward. So the first update I want to talk about are some new products that I have available. I'm going to shamelessly plug them. You can fast forward through this if you want. The ones that I think you might be most interested in are the 3D printed battery hangers that I've designed for Rigid, DeWalt, Milwaukee, and now Makita. I know I'm going to get a lot of requests for Ryobi. I'm working on that, but those are not available yet. Now, as you may already know, I sell products through my Etsy store, many of which are 3D printed that I make myself. And I've known for a while that I want to design up some battery hangers specifically for Rigid, just because I have the most of those. But also I know DeWalt and Makita have a big market share out there. So after a ton of design tweaks, prints, reprints, measurements, remeasurements, I finally landed on designs that I think are really good. Now you can mount these batteries in just about any orientation you want, all around your shop, under your cabinets, on the side of the cabinets, maybe in a work van that you have. Doesn't matter, you can put them anywhere that you can put 2 to 4 screws into. So if you want to learn more, go check them out. So I also get asked a lot about things like stickers and swag that you can put around your shop. These metal plates are awesome, they are also available. In addition to these cool magnets that I just had designed up, so it's got the Shop Greatness text that I seem to use in a lot of projects, and I just think it's a cool thing that you can slap anywhere that has a metallic surface, so toolboxes, cabinets, things like that. And I also have these in sticker form, so if you want one of those, you know where to find them. And last but not least, the very popular Craig Tracksaw Square. Now this is something I just briefly showed in my Craig Tracksaw review, which is essentially just a square that clamps onto the track so that you can register up against your workpiece. This is something that exists for a lot of the other common tracks for track saws, but doesn't currently exist for Craig. And I 3D printed this one and it looks really cool, and people were asking when I'm gonna start selling them. And the answer is, I'm not. The truth is that this design isn't perfect. Because it's 3D printed, it has a couple of nuances about it. It's not quite as sturdy as I want. So if I were to sell these, I would redesign it to be machined out of aluminum, which would drive the cost up. So I kind of want to gauge interest on if I had one of these machined that maybe incorporated some 3D printed parts, but the main form factor was machined aluminum, would there still be any interest? All right, the next thing I want to talk about is plans, and this is where I could use some advice. Now, obviously plans is a pretty big part of how I generate income through Etsy, but they take a lot of time to develop the way that I want to develop them, which is totally over the top, I know. But my question is, where should I put my focus? So at the moment, I'm kind of at a crossroads between 2 paths. So on this side, I want to design a workbench system around a contractor table saw. This is a request I get all the time because apparently a lot of people just probably don't have the space to have a full cabinet table saw. And all of my designs really rely on having a freestanding saw at the end of the workbench. So I see a huge need to kind of design one from the ground up that has the mobile table saw built into the workbench that you can kind of slide up and get out of the way. So that's kind of where my head's at. But on this side, I have a lot of requests to do my plans in metric, which you would think wouldn't be a lot of work, but it actually really is. What I have to end up actually doing is going back and redesigning the entire thing to make the metric measurements really make sense. And I know that might sound complicated, but just trust me, it's more work than I thought. The only metric plan I have right now is for the versatile workbench, the latest workbench that I built, but I get a lot of requests for the ultimate cabinets to have a metric version. So which way would you go? Focus my time on taking an existing design and making it metric, or going to a net new design with a contractor table saw? I'm interested to hear what you think. And lastly, I want to talk about a new sponsor for the channel, something that you're going to see a lot more of going forward. And before I reveal who it is, I just want to say a lot of people probably view my channel as kind of a beacon of workshop wear, specifically like proper attire to wear in a workshop, because I'm always so attentive to that kind of thing, especially when it comes to things like footwear and PPE. When you think Shop Nation, you think that guy dresses for the part. No, obviously I'm terrible at that, which is why I'm happy that I'm partnering with Timberland Pro. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't know much about Timberland Pro other than I've seen a couple other YouTubers out here talking about it. But once I started looking at their stuff, they actually got some really nice stuff. So like this pullover I'm wearing now, that's Timberland Pro. Obviously I'm gonna get proper shoes to wear in the shop, as well as workwear that's meant to get dirty and be in a shop. So you're gonna see more of that going forward. I'm not gonna shove it down your throat or anything. It's just a partnership I thought worth mentioning, and I'm pretty excited for it. All right, so now let's shift our attention to the 3 channel recommendations that I love doing during these segments and seem to be really popular. Hopefully I'm giving some good picks. Wait. You know we're gonna talk about Skillshare, the sponsor, right? Skillshare is an online learning community for creatives where millions come together to take their next steps in their creative journeys. Now on Skillshare, you can find thousands of inspiring classes on topics including illustration, design, videography, interpretive hand dance. Oh, that one's not on there, okay. And even origami. The point is that if you have an interest in it, there's probably a class you can take on that subject. And the best part about Skillshare is that those ad-free classes can be adapted from anyone from a total beginner to an absolute pro. Now, I've recently been taking some classes on graphic design because I really need to sharpen that skill, but maybe for you it's creating a compelling PowerPoint presentation, or honing your technical writing skills, or you're the latest up-and-coming YouTuber and you want to see how the best do it. I'm telling you, there's literally a class for you. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click on the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare so you can start exploring your creativity today. Seriously, if you're curious, just go check it out. It's free. I'm gonna go smallest to largest, and we're gonna start with a channel called Make with Jake. Now, he launched his channel in 2020 amid the coronavirus pandemic starting, and whether it was out of desperation or boredom, it's working out. Jake, which I'm assuming is his name, puts out some surprisingly really good content and is very comfortable in front of the camera for only having put out a couple of videos. Apparently nowadays you don't have to go through the awkward teenage stage of not knowing what to say and not knowing what to do with your hands. Jake seems to circumvent all of that and is putting out some really good stuff, but what I really like about his channel is that he's lifting up other smaller channels with him. So he does a segment similar to what I'm doing right now where he'll mention 3 channels that he really appreciates that maybe have a very small following to try and at least expose them to his audience, which I think frankly is really cool. So if you're looking for an up-and-comer, I would definitely go check out Make with Jake. He's got some great content. I will link his channel down below. And the next one, which is an absolute gem here on YouTube, is Lincoln Street Woodworks. And his tagline pretty much perfectly sums it up. It's no bullshit, kind of funny, woodworking. So John is another one where even though he's only got a couple videos put out, they're like really good. I don't know what his background is. Maybe if he did videography at some point, but again, he's comfortable in front of the camera. He has good presence. He's actually really funny, and the content is really engaging. So far, he's done videos on beginner woodworking tools, things to do to arrange your shop, how to build certain piece of furniture, and my favorite video is a spoof on woodworkers on YouTube. It is hilarious. Thank me later. Go watch it. I'll link it down below. This guy's growth is downright impressive for how young his channel is, and I think it's just a matter of time before he's one of the big channels. So go check it out. And last but not least is a little bit of a bigger channel that you may have heard of, but it's Mike Farrington. So Mike is a professional cabinet and furniture maker, and he puts out really good quality stuff. But there's a lot of those guys on YouTube. What I like about Mike's channel is he also takes the time to talk about his shop and being intentional, and I think it's really cool to glean some expertise from a true professional rather than just some knucklehead in his garage. So his shop furniture videos are awesome, and it shows kind of how his brain works. I always like seeing how people do things that maybe have a different way of thinking, and he's definitely one of them. And he also has a dry sense of humor, which you'll notice is kind of a reoccurring theme of criteria for me liking a channel. So Mike definitely tries to sprinkle that stuff in, which I enjoy. He just did a video with some enormous upper cabinets in his workshop, and he actually has his clamp storage in there. I thought it's really cool. Go check it out. All right, so real quick, I want to talk about an initiative that I just signed on with here on YouTube. A bunch of creators led by Mr. Beast and Mark Rober. I'm sure you've seen at least one of their channels. They're putting together an effort to raise $30 million to remove 30 million pounds of waste from the oceans, which I think is pretty cool. I have no idea what percentage 30 million pounds represents in the ocean, but it's sure to save at least one sea turtle. But I'll put some links and some more information down in the video description below, where you can go check out more about the organization and how you can help specifically. I know I'm gonna be donating because why not? I'm not one of those weird paper straw guys, but I definitely think it's the right thing to do. So again, you'll hear me talk more about this in the future, but I just wanted to introduce it and at least make you aware so that you can get involved if you want. So I feel the need to preface this in saying that I am extremely grateful with everything that YouTube has given me. The opportunity to make money doing stuff on the side in my garage is just phenomenal. The world we live in is truly awesome, knowing that anybody can do this. So I am not complaining about that. Now, the reason that I'm toying with the idea of quitting YouTube truly comes down to time management. So as anyone with a full-time job and a side hustle can tell you, it can be draining. Well, you just have to make a video every 2 weeks. I mean, what's the big deal? That schedule for me when working full-time in another career means that I get like 2 or 3 days off a month. That's how much time I have to put into this around everything else in my life, like family. And I'm coming up on doing this for 4 years, which when you factor in now that I have a family, we have a 2-year-old, I've got another career that's sort of going its own direction, it's just a lot. And I found myself really not looking forward to things that I should be looking forward to, like the weekends, because I know that the weekends represent an opportunity for me to go to my second job, which is this. Now, this problem that I've created is 100% self-imposed. I myself just happen to be very goal-oriented, so I want to achieve something. So when I started the channel, it was to get to 1,000 subscribers. That would just be nuts. And then to get to 10,000, holy crap, 10,000? And then it was 100,000. And then we get there, it's like, now what? What I have to get through my brain is that it's a journey, not really a destination. It's kind of like what I say about shop greatness. You never really truly arrive, but the journey along the way creates a lot of good. And I think YouTube is similar, but I just have a hard time wrapping my mind around it. So I'm really just doing a gut check on what does my future look like? Where is the majority of the stress coming from? I'm just kind of going through that right now. I don't have any intention of quitting YouTube anytime soon, but I do plan on maybe dialing it back just a little bit. And to be honest, I kind of had some reservations about putting this in a video at all, just because I figured, who cares? But every time I include something like this, it seems to be really helpful, both for people who are maybe in a similar situation and for folks who are looking into getting into doing YouTube. I just want to share all the different pieces of it. It's not all just fun, although the short edited videos might look like I'm making some cool stuff and making progress and doing cool things. There's a lot of work that goes into it. And I'm also really lucky in that my wife totally supports what I do, and she's now helping with the channels. That has made a huge impact on removing some of the burden from me. But the truth of the matter is that I just found more stuff to fill that time. So again, it's my problem, it's my issue, it's my head, just something I'm grappling with, and we'll figure it out. All right, guys, it's been real and it's been fun. Some would say it's been real fun. Now, one more time, if you have any feedback on anything I talked about, leave those down in the comments below. Go check out those 3 channels we talked about and sign up for Teamseas down below if you want to get involved. I will catch you guys on the next project, and until then, keep pursuing, you know what it is.